The paper sat between us like a loaded gun. Clara didn't look at me. Her pen trembled once, then steadied. She signed her name on the last page and slid the file toward me. "It's done," she said quietly. I didn't move. "That's it?" Her eyes flicked up for a second. "That's how divorce works, Ethan." I swallowed hard. "No, that's how strangers end things. We weren't strangers. We are now." The words cut deeper than any knife. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling of the lawyer's office. "You said you wanted time. You said you just needed space to think." "I did," she said, her tone flat. "And I realized I don't want this life anymore." "This life?" I laughed bitterly. "You mean the life we built? The house we planned, the trips, the dreams, those were yours too." She sighed. "People change." "Then tell me who you changed into," I said softly. "Because I don't recognize you." She finally met my eyes, but there was nothing there. No love, no regret, just distance. "You shouldn't have to." "That's the point." The lawyer cleared his throat awkwardly. "If both parties are finished, I'll file the paperwork now." Clara stood clutching her purse. "Please do." I stayed seated, staring at the ink that ended 8 years of my life. When the door clicked behind her, I felt the silence swallow me whole. Noah, my best friend, waited outside in the hallway. "It's over?" I nodded. "Yeah," he studied me carefully. "You look like hell." "Feels worse." I rubbed my eyes. "You ever wonder how someone can just erase you like that?" He sighed. "She didn't erase you, man. She just walked away." I gave a humorless smile. "Same thing, isn't it?" We walked toward the exit in silence. My footsteps echoed through the courthouse like gunshots. Each one felt heavier than the last. When we stepped outside, I froze. Clara stood by the curb and next to her, him, Adrian Black, the man she swore she'd never talk to again. The man who once left her shattered and came crawling back years later. He opened the car door for her, smiling like the world belonged to him. She hesitated for only a second before leaning in and kissing him. Something inside me snapped. Noah muttered, "You've got to be kidding me." I couldn't move. My body went cold. My hands shook. She said he was a mistake. She said she hated him. "Yeah," Noah said grimly, "and now he's her ride home." I took a step forward before he caught my arm. "Ethan, don't." "I just want to talk to her." "No, you want to explode and you'll regret it." I tore my arm away, but I didn't move closer. I just stood there, watching her laugh, like she hadn't just ended my entire world an hour ago. Adrian looked straight at me then. His smirk widened, mocking, knowing exactly what he'd taken. That look will haunt me forever. When the car drove off, the air felt heavier. I could still smell her perfume in the wind. Noah exhaled slowly. "Let's get out of here." I nodded, though I didn't feel my legs as we walked. The world blurred into colors, gray pavement, dull sky, my heart somewhere in between. We stopped at a cafe across the street. I sat by the window, staring out like a ghost. "She didn't even say goodbye," I whispered. "Would it have helped?" Noah asked. "Yes," I said without thinking. "Even a lie would have been better than silence." He rubbed his jaw. "Look, I know it hurts. But she made her choice, man. You've got to start making yours." "I already did," I said bitterly. "I chose her. Every single time. And now you've got to choose yourself." I gave a dry laugh. "I don't even know who that is anymore." He leaned forward. "Then find out. Don't let her win by destroying you." "Winning?" I said quietly. "You think this is about winning?" "She took everything, my heart, my trust, my future. What's left to win?" "Your peace," Noah said softly. I didn't answer. My eyes stayed on the street. I saw a couple holding hands, laughing. I saw a kid chasing a balloon. The world moved on like nothing happened. But my world had ended in a courthouse. That night, I sat on the floor of my apartment, surrounded by memories I didn't ask to keep. Wedding photos, anniversary letters, her handwriting on old sticky notes, "Don't forget breakfast." Love you, love you." The words mocked me now. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "I'm sorry." "Don't call me." I stared at it for a long time. My fingers hovered over the keyboard before I typed back, "You don't get to say sorry and walk away." I didn't send it. I deleted it. Then I deleted her number, but the memory stayed. I poured myself a drink, my first in months. It burned like truth going down. Noah called. "You home?" Yeah. You okay? Define okay. He hesitated. You want company? No, I just want to feel nothing for a while. Don't drown in it, man. Promise me, I didn't promise. I hung up instead. The clock ticked. The city outside was alive. Cars, laughter, a siren far away. But inside my apartment, only the sound of my heartbeat filled the air. I walked to the window. The streetlights flickered against the rain. Somewhere out there, Clara was probably smiling in someone else's arms. I tried to imagine her thinking about me even for a second. But I knew she wasn't. She was free. And I was the one left in pieces. Hours passed before I noticed I was still holding my wedding ring. The metal felt colder than my hands. I turned it over, the engraving still clear, forever. C&E Forever had lasted exactly 2,910 days. I dropped the ring into a glass of whiskey and watched it sink. Cheers, I muttered to no one. There was a knock at the door. I ignored it. It came again, louder this time. I opened it halfway. Noah stood there, soaked from the rain. You look terrible, he said. Thanks. He stepped inside and handed me a bag. Food, and before you argue, eat it. I stared at the bag, then at him. Why do you care so much? He shrugged. Because I've seen this story before. Guy loses love, loses himself, and never climbs out. You're not gonna be that guy. I already am. No, he said firmly. You're hurt. There's a difference. I sat down on the couch. She didn't even hesitate, Noah, not once. She will, he said. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day she'll wake up and realize what she threw away. I laughed quietly. And by then it won't matter. Exactly. We sat in silence for a while. The rain softened outside. Noah glanced at the half-empty glass. You should sleep. I can't. Then just sit. But don't call her. Don't look her up. Don't chase ghosts, I nodded slowly. No ghosts, he left an hour later. The apartment felt even emptier without his voice. I walked to the table again, where the divorce papers still lay. Her signature stared back at me, confident, final. I whispered, "Goodbye, Clara," and folded the papers neatly. Outside, thunder rolled. I stood there listening until the noise faded into silence. Then, for the first time all day, I let myself cry. The days melted together after the divorce. I woke up when the light hit my face, not because I wanted to. The bed felt like a battlefield. Her scent on the pillow, her hair on the sheets. Every part of this house whispered her name. I stopped eating after the third day. Coffee and whiskey became my new meals. The silence was too loud, the air too thick. I tried working, but every design looked like the house she'd wanted to build with me. Noah called every night. You alive? Barely. You need to get out. I don't want to. He sighed. You're going to rot in that place. Maybe that's what I deserve. You didn't cheat, Ethan. She did the leaving. You didn't? I must have done something wrong. No, he said. She just stopped loving right. I hung up before he could say more. Talking didn't help. Nothing did. 3 days later, I found out she'd emptied our joint account. Every penny. I stared at the online statement, my chest tightening. Of course she did, I muttered. Why not burn the rest of me too? I called her, though I told myself I wouldn't. Straight to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. I just sat there, phone in hand, shaking. That night I drank until the walls started spinning. My thoughts blurred, but her voice stayed sharp in my head. We are now. I slammed the glass against the counter. Liar! The shards scattered like my patience. Someone knocked at the door. I froze. It was late. I wiped my face, thinking maybe Noah had come to check. I opened the door halfway. It wasn't Noah. Lena? She looked small in the doorway, rain dripping from her coat. Clara's younger sister. The last person I expected to see. Can I come in? She asked softly. I stepped aside. Yeah. She walked in, glancing around the mess, empty bottles, papers, the unmade couch. You're not doing well. Observation of the year. I tried calling, she said. You didn't answer. I'm not great at talking these days. I know. I poured another drink and raised the glass. You want one? No, she said. You've had enough, I frowned. You sound like her. She hesitated. Don't compare us, please, I sighed. Sorry, old habit. She took a seat on the couch. I shouldn't have come. Mom told me to stay out of it. Mrs. Carter still hates me? No, Lena said quietly. She's ashamed. She told Clara not to do it. She begged her to think twice. Yeah, that worked out great. She's not here to defend herself, Lena said, then paused. But I am. You don't deserve what she did. Her voice cracked a little, and something in me softened. I hadn't heard anyone say those words since the divorce. Why are you really here? I asked. Because you look like a man about to disappear, she said. And I didn't want to read about you in the paper. I looked down at my drink. I'm fine. You're not. I chuckled bitterly. You sound just like Noah. Then maybe you should listen. Silence stretched between us. The rain hit the window like small reminders of time passing. She looked around again. You haven't been eating. I told you. Coffee and whiskey. It's efficient. Efficiently self-destructive. Maybe I like destruction. She stood up, walked to the kitchen, and started opening cabinets. What are you doing? Making something. Do you have eggs? I don't even know. She checked the fridge. You do, and bread? That's enough. I leaned against the counter, watching her move like she belonged here. The sound of a pan sizzling was strange after days of silence. You don't have to do this, I said. I know. I want to. Why? She looked at me. Because someone should. I didn't answer. The smell of toast filled the air, and suddenly my stomach growled for the first time in days. She smiled faintly. See? Still human. I sat down across from her. Clara told me once you always fix things for people. Guess it runs in the family. Her face darkened. Don't talk about her like that. Like what? Like she's all of us. She made her choices, but that doesn't define who we are. Maybe not, I said quietly. But it defined me. Lena set the plate in front of me. Then maybe it's time you redefine yourself. I looked at the food, but didn't touch it. You really believe I can? She nodded. I do. I took a bite. It tasted like something normal, warm, simple, real. Not bad, I said. She smiled. You're welcome. We sat there for a while. I found myself talking, really talking, for the first time in weeks. About the house, the fights, the silence before the end. She looked right through me, I said, like I was a stranger in her own story. She's been lost for a long time, Lena said. You just didn't see it. I saw it, I whispered. I just thought love could fix it. Love can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. That line hit harder than I expected. I stared at her. You're wiser than you look. I had a front row seat to your marriage, she said softly. I learned a lot about what love shouldn't look like. Did she ever talk about me? Lena hesitated. Yes. What did she say? That you loved her too much. That it scared her, I blinked. That's a reason to leave? She doesn't know what to do with loyalty. Adrian gives her chaos and she mistakes it for passion, I exhaled, half laughing. Guess she got what she wanted. She'll regret it, Lena said. She always does. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Maybe I'll be gone by the time she does. Her eyes softened. Don't talk like that. I'm not planning anything, I said. Just sometimes it feels easier to disappear. You're allowed to grieve, Ethan. Just don't let it turn into a grave. Her words hung in the air. I looked at her, really looked. Her hair was damp from the rain, her eyes tired but kind. She didn't pity me, she saw me. Why are you being so kind? I asked. Because someone should, she said again. And maybe because I know what it's like to lose someone you love to their own selfishness. I frowned. You mean Clara? She looked down. Not just her. My father left when I was 12. Mom still waits for him every New Year. We sat in silence again, the kind that didn't feel empty. After a while, she stood. I should go. You can stay, I said before I thought. She smiled sadly. That's not a good idea. I didn't mean... I know what you meant. She picked up her coat. You don't need saving. You just need someone to remind you you're still alive. I followed her to the door. Thanks for the reminder. Anytime, she said. And Ethan? Yeah? She's made her choice. You don't have to keep living inside it. When she left, the house felt different. Not lighter, but less haunted. I cleaned up the bottles, the broken glass, the memories scattered across the floor. I washed the dishes she'd used one by one. The silence didn't feel cruel anymore. For the first time since the papers, I didn't feel like a ghost in my own home. I sat on the couch, staring at the door, half expecting another knock. It never came. but somehow I didn't need it to. The first morning I stepped back into the office felt like walking into a graveyard of my own failures. My desk was clean, too clean. No photos, no clutter, just the ghost of what used to be my focus. Jason Cole leaned against the glass wall of the conference room, his smile sharp enough to cut steel. "Ethan," he said, voice slick as oil. "Glad you're back. We closed the Stellar Design deal last week. Big win." My heart froze. "The Stellar Design deal?" "That was my project," he shrugged. "You were gone. The client needed confidence. I made the call. You sold my design?" My voice cracked. "It's just business," he said calmly. "You were spiraling." "I kept the company afloat. By selling it to Adrian's firm?" I hissed, Jason straightened, lips twitching. "They made the best offer." "You should thank me." "Thank you?" I took a step closer. "You handed my work to the man who stole my wife." "Come on, Ethan. Don't mix emotions with contracts. You walked away from everything the day you lost Clara. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to wipe that smug, polished look off his face. But I didn't. I just turned, shoved the door open, and walked out before I could say something I'd regret. Maya, my assistant, caught my arm as I passed her desk. "Ethan, what happened?" "Nothing," I said, voice hoarse. "Just the usual knife to the back." She frowned. "Jason's been meeting Adrian for weeks. Everyone knows," I stopped. "Everyone?" She nodded. "I thought you did too." For a second, the world tilted. My breath caught somewhere between fury and disbelief. Everyone had seen it coming, everyone but me. I left the building without looking back. The cold air outside burned like punishment. That night, I sat in the dark with a bottle of whiskey and silence thick enough to drown in. My phone lit up. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. "Hello?" "Still angry?" The voice was familiar, smooth, mocking, and venomously calm. Clara. My grip on the glass tightened. "You have some nerve calling me." "Relax," she said. "I just wanted to check if you're okay. I heard about your project." "From Adrian, I assume." "Of course." A soft laugh. "He said you looked lost. I almost felt bad." "You didn't call to feel bad. You called to gloat," she sighed, feigning pity. "You used to be stronger, Ethan. Maybe you still can be if you stop blaming everyone else." I laughed bitterly. "You emptied our account, ran to your ex, and now you're giving me advice?" "You were always dramatic," she said lightly. "Adrian just understands me better." "Understands your greed, maybe." Her tone turned icy. "Careful, Ethan, you sound jealous." "Jealous?" I whispered. "No, just disgusted." She went silent for a moment, then said, "You'll move on eventually. You always do." The line went dead. I stared at my reflection in the dark window, jaw trembling. The man looking back wasn't the same one who once built everything from nothing. That man was gone, buried under betrayal. A knock came at the door. I didn't move. "Ethan?" Lena's voice, I sighed. "Door's open." She stepped in, holding a takeout bag. "You didn't answer my texts." I didn't feel like talking. "I figured," she said softly, placing the food on the table. "You look like hell." "Thanks," I muttered. "That's the theme lately." She sat across from me. "I heard what happened at work. Jason's a snake. Always has been. And Clara?" I looked up sharply. "What about her?"
She called you, didn't she?
I didn't answer. She saw the truth in my silence. Lena sighed. "You can't keep letting her win like this." "She already won," I said quietly. "She took everything. My work, my name, my peace. She can't take your fire," Lena said. "Unless you hand it to her." I gave a humorless laugh. "Fire? It's burning me alive." "Then use it," she said, leaning forward. "Don't waste it on self-pity. Build something better. Make her regret underestimating you." Her words struck something deep inside me. "You sound like you want revenge as much as I do." "I want you to live," she said simply. "But I know men like you. You can't heal without fighting back." I looked at her for a long time. "Maybe you're right. I am right," she said. "But promise me one thing. Don't lose yourself chasing them." I smiled faintly. "Too late for that." After she left, I stood in the silence again, but this time it felt different. Less empty, more electric. I grabbed a pen and a fresh sheet of paper. My hands trembled as I started sketching. Lines, curves, designs, everything I thought they'd stolen from me came flooding back. This time, I wasn't drawing for Clara. I wasn't drawing for Jason or the company. I was drawing for me. The whiskey sat untouched. The shadows around me didn't feel so heavy anymore. The next morning, Maya greeted me with a nervous smile. "You're early." "I couldn't sleep," I said. "I've got work to do." Jason appeared, smirking as always. "Back for round 2? I met his eyes, calm now. "No rounds, just results." "You'll see soon enough," he laughed. "Still dreaming, huh?" I stepped close, just enough for him to feel the weight of my words. "Dreams are for the weak. I'm planning something real." His smile faltered for half a second. "Good." As I walked past him, I felt it, the shift. The beginning of something he couldn't see yet. Betrayal had broken me, but it also sharpened me. And for the first time since that courthouse, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like a storm waiting to happen. 6 months. That's how long it took me to rise from the ashes. I stood in my new office, smaller, humbler, but mine. The sign on the glass read Eclipse Designs, a name born from darkness. Fitting. Lena walked in holding 2 coffees. "Still pretending you sleep?" I smirked. "Sleep's overrated." "Burnout isn't," she said, placing the cup in front of me. "You've built this company in record time. Investors love you. Clients trust you again. Maybe it's time you breathe." I leaned back. Breathing feels dangerous. It gives me time to think about her, about everything. She crossed her arms. "You can't keep carrying ghosts around." "Clara's gone. Adrian's her problem now." I looked out the window. "That's what everyone says." "Then maybe everyone's right," she said softly. I smiled faintly. "Maybe." Later that day, Noah dropped by. "Man, you're actually doing it." "Never thought I'd see you smile again." I laughed. "Don't jinx it. You heard the news?" He asked. "What news?" He grinned. "Adrian's company's under investigation. Fraud, insider trading, the works." My hands froze midair. "You're serious?" "Dead serious. It's all over the business channels. He's been losing contracts left and right." I leaned against my desk, pulse racing. "And Clara?" "Still by his side, I guess." "Though rumor says their perfect love story is cracking." I didn't say anything for a while. Then quietly I said, "Karma doesn't always need help." Noah studied me. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" I exhaled slowly. "I'm not proud of it." "But yeah, maybe a little." He chuckled. "Guess that's fair." A few nights later, Lena found me sketching again at midnight. "Still can't turn it off, huh?" "Not when the ideas come," I said. She sat beside me. "You've changed. Better or worse?" "Stronger," she said. "But harder, too." I met her eyes. "You helped me stand again." She smiled faintly. "That's what friends are for. Is that all we are?" The air went still. She didn't answer for a moment. "Do you want it to be more?" I hesitated. "I don't know if I can do more. Every time I trust someone, I bleed." "Then maybe you're trusting the wrong people," she whispered. Her hand brushed mine, light as air. I didn't pull away. For a brief second, warmth replaced the cold inside me, but just as quickly, my phone buzzed, an unknown number flashing on the screen. I frowned. "It's late." "Who would maybe ignore it?" Lena suggested. I didn't. I answered. "Ethan?" The voice was shaky, familiar. "Clara." My throat tightened. "What do you want?" She was crying. "Please don't hang up. You shouldn't be calling me." "I didn't know who else to call," she said between sobs. "Everything's falling apart." "Adrian, he's been lying. He's broke, Ethan. He used me." I stayed silent, my pulse hammering. "He's under investigation," she continued. "He sold fake stocks. Our house is gone. He left this morning." I looked at Lena. She mouthed, "Who is it?" I turned away. "You made your choice, Clara." "I know," she said quickly. "But I was wrong. I thought he loved me." I laughed bitterly. "Now you know how it feels." She sobbed harder. "I deserve that. But please, can we meet just once? I don't have anyone else." I closed my eyes. "You have Adrian. He's gone." "Ethan, please, I'm lost." Something twisted inside me. Not pity, not love. Just old pain resurfacing like smoke from dying embers. "I can't help you," I said quietly. "You won't." She snapped through her tears. "Because you still hate me." "I don't hate you," I said. "I just don't believe you." "Then at least listen." "I've done enough listening," I said sharply. "Now it's your turn to live with what you've done." Ethan, please. I hung up. Lena was staring at me. Was that Clara? Yeah. What did she want? Forgiveness. Or maybe salvation. And what did you give her? Neither. She looked at me quietly. Does it help? Saying no. I rubbed my temples. It hurts. But it's clean pain. She nodded slowly. Sometimes that's the kind that heals. The next morning, news broke everywhere. Adrian Miller's company collapses amid fraud scandal. CEO flees country amid allegations. Clara Hayes left bankrupt. My office buzzed with whispers. Maya peeked in. You seeing this? I saw. She's trending online. People are tearing her apart, I kept typing. Let them. I'm done caring, but that was a lie. I did care, not because I still loved her, but because I finally didn't. That evening, as I left the building, a figure stood near the gate, soaked, trembling. Clara. Her makeup was ruined. Her clothes wrinkled, eyes red from crying. Ethan, she whispered, stepping forward. I froze. You shouldn't be here. I didn't know where else to go. Hotels exist. Please. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry for everything. I was blind. I let him turn me into someone I'm not. I sighed.
And now you want what?
Sympathy? No, just a chance to start over. With me? She looked down. With myself. But I can't do it alone. Her words cut deeper than I expected. For a moment, the image of her signing those divorce papers flashed before me. Her calm, detached smile, the way she didn't even look up. You think you can walk back into my life like nothing happened? I said softly. Tears streamed down her face. No, I just thought maybe you'd understand. I stepped closer, not out of affection, but closure. I do understand, and that's exactly why I can't help you. Ethan, you chose this, I whispered. Now live with it, her lips trembled. You've changed. Good, I said. Because the old me would have taken you back. She flinched, then turned and walked into the rain, vanishing into the blur of city lights. When I got home, Lena was waiting by the door. You saw her, didn't you? I nodded, and? I told her the truth. Lena studied me. Do you feel lighter? I thought for a long moment. Not lighter. Just cleaner, she smiled gently. Ashes don't lie, Ethan. Whatever burns away was never meant to stay. I looked out the window at the fading rain, the city lights flickering like dying stars. For the first time in a long time, the past felt quiet, and in that quiet, I finally began to breathe again. When I opened the door that morning, I didn't expect to see her again. Clara stood there, pale, shaking, eyes swollen from crying. Ethan, she whispered, voice trembling. Please, don't shut the door. I didn't move. What do you want, Clara? I need to talk. I hesitated, then stepped aside. 5 minutes. She entered slowly, glancing around like a ghost returning to its grave. You changed everything, she said softly. I had to, I replied. You burned the old place down, she winced. I deserve that. You deserve worse. I know, she said quickly. And I'll take it, just listen. I folded my arms. I'm listening, she took a shaky breath. Adrian's gone. He took everything. Money, contacts, and even my name. I thought we were building something together, but he was just using me. I laughed bitterly. Now you know what betrayal feels like. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I kept waiting for him to change, to love me the way you did. But he never did. He used me to get to you. My jaw tightened. Congratulations! You played yourself. Don't, she whispered. Please don't be cruel. I can't take it anymore. I looked away. You took everything from me, Clara. My company, my peace, my self-respect. And now you want sympathy? I want forgiveness. You think forgiveness erases what you did? No, she said, voice breaking. But I can't live with this guilt. I see your face every night. I hear your voice. I ruined the only person who ever loved me. I closed my eyes, hating the sting behind them. You didn't ruin me. You just forced me to rebuild without you. She stepped closer. Then let me help you now. I flinched back. Help me? You can't even help yourself. The door opened quietly. Lena stood there holding a folder. Her eyes flicked from me to Clara. Oh. Lena. I started, but she smiled tightly. Don't, she said softly. I get it. I shouldn't have come unannounced. It's not what you think. I know what it looks like, she said, voice steady but trembling. "It looks like you still care." Clara turned to her. "You must be Lena." Lena nodded. "And you must be the reason he stopped believing in love." Clara's lips parted, but no sound came. I stepped forward. "Lena, please." She shook her head. "I've seen how you look when you talk about her. You say you're over it, but your eyes still bleed. It's not that simple." "It never is," she said bitterly. "But I can't be your second choice, Ethan. I won't be the shadow of her regret." Her voice cracked on the last word, but she didn't cry. She just turned and walked out, closing the door quietly behind her. The silence that followed was suffocating. Clara whispered, "I didn't mean to cause that." I glared at her. "You've been doing that your whole life, breaking people who only ever wanted to love you." Her knees buckled and she fell onto the couch. "I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it." "You can't," I said flatly. She wiped her tears.
Do you still love me?
The question hit like a bullet. I didn't answer right away. Finally, I said, "I loved who you used to be. Before the lies. Before Adrian. Before the version of you that looked at me like I wasn't enough." "I was scared," she whispered. "You were steady. I was chaos. I thought I needed excitement. I thought Adrian was that. You thought wrong." She nodded slowly. "I know." Then stopped looking to me for redemption. Her eyes searched mine. "You really hate me, don't you?" I sighed. "No, Clara. Hating you would mean you still matter." She covered her face with her hands. "I wish I could undo it." "You can't." She stood, swaying slightly. "Then I'll go. You deserve peace even if I don't." I didn't stop her. The door closed behind her with a soft click, and just like that, the chapter ended where it started. Hours later, Lena showed up again. She didn't knock this time. She just walked in, eyes sharp, emotions barely contained. "Why did you let her in?" she asked. She showed up. "I couldn't just throw her out." "You could've," she said. "You just didn't want to." She was falling apart, Lena. "So were you 6 months ago," she said. "Did she care then?" I clenched my fists. "This isn't about sides." "It is," she snapped. "You keep saying you've moved on, but the moment she appears, you crumble." "I didn't crumble, didn't you?" she asked. "You still defend her, still bleed for her sins." She begged for forgiveness. What was I supposed to do? Laugh in her face? "Yes," she said fiercely. "Because she earned that. Because you deserve better than pity for a woman who destroyed you." I stared at her, anger rising. "You think I don't know that? You think I haven't replayed every moment, every word, every lie? Then why are you still letting her live in your head?" She shouted. "You can't love anyone until you stop worshiping your wounds." Her words hit like lightning. I stood there speechless. She turned to leave, but I grabbed her wrist. "Lena, wait." Her eyes softened just for a moment. "I care about you, Ethan, but I can't keep fighting your ghosts." "Lena." "Goodbye," she whispered. The door slammed, and the echo tore through me. Night fell like punishment. I sat alone, the city lights flickering outside like reminders of everything I'd lost. Clara's words echoed in one ear, Lena's in the other. Maybe they were both right. Maybe I'd been so obsessed with pain that it became my identity. I walked to the mirror. The man staring back looked tired, older, worn out. "What are you even fighting for anymore?" I muttered. Silence answered. I sat down, buried my face in my hands, and breathed, really breathed, for the first time in months. I thought about Clara's tears, Lena's anger, my own emptiness. They all came from the same place, love twisted by pride, but beneath it all, something small still burned. Not revenge, not longing, just understanding. I whispered to myself, maybe forgiveness isn't about them. Maybe it's about me. The next morning, I woke up before dawn. No whiskey, no distractions, just quiet. I wrote Clara's name on a piece of paper, folded it, and set it on the desk. "I forgive you," I said aloud. "Not for you, for me." Then I burned it. Watched the paper curl and turn to ash. As the smoke faded, I felt something inside me shift. The chains loosened. When the phone buzzed with a message from Lena, my heart skipped. Coffee later, I smiled for the first time in a long time and typed back, "Yeah, I'd like that." Because for once I wasn't chasing what I lost. I was walking toward what I still had left. Myself. Mr. Hale? The detective's voice sliced through the quiet of my office. Papers lay scattered on the desk. Designs, contracts, the usual distractions that couldn't silence the noise inside me. I looked up. Detective Rowan, I was wondering when you'd show up. He nodded slightly, eyes calm but sharp. You heard about Adrian Cole's arrest? I leaned back, exhaling. Hard not to. Half the city's talking about it. Fraud, money laundering, insider trading, quite the resume. Rowan studied me. And Clara Hale's name came up. I'm sure that's not news to you either. My jaw tightened. It's Ethan Hale now. And no, it's not news. She always found herself next to chaos. You two were married, he said evenly. She claims you might have had information about Cole's dealings. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was tragic. Information? Detective, the only thing I had was a broken marriage and an empty bank account. Rowan's expression softened. Still, I need your statement. Off the record, did you know about any of it? No, I said quietly. But I know the kind of man Adrian is. He takes until there's nothing left. Then he calls it love. He wrote something in his notebook. You sound like a man who's seen both sides of him. I've seen enough, I replied. But I'm not here to bury him. He's already done that himself. Rowan closed the notebook. Fair enough. For what it's worth, I believe you. Do me a favor, I said. When this is over, don't drag her name through more mud than it's already in. She's broken enough, he paused. You still care? I stared at the window, the skyline reflecting my own fractured reflection. No, I murmured. I just don't hate her anymore. That night, my phone buzzed with a message. Can we talk? It was Lena. When she arrived, the air between us was thick, not with anger, but with everything unsaid. She stood near the doorway, hesitant. I didn't know if you'd answer. I almost didn't. I gestured to the chair opposite me. You look tired, she smiled faintly. You should see yourself. Silence settled like dust. Finally, she said, I heard about Adrian. About Clara. Everyone has, I muttered. It's poetic, isn't it? The golden couple finally turns to rust. Is that what you wanted? She asked. For them to fall? I hesitated. Once, yes. Now, I don't know. You should, she said softly. You've been chasing this ending since the day she left. I thought if she lost everything, maybe I'd feel free, I admitted. But watching her burn didn't make the ashes any lighter. Lena's voice trembled. Ethan, when I left, it wasn't because I stopped caring. It was because I couldn't watch you drown in her ghost. I know, I said, and I hated you for leaving. She looked at me, eyes glistening. Do you still? No, I took a shaky breath. I'm just tired, Lena. Tired of losing people I love because I don't know how to let go. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then she stepped closer. Maybe it's time you stop fighting the past and start living the present. Easier said than done. She smiled faintly. You always say that. But you never realize that you've already survived worse. Her hand brushed mine, a gentle reminder of everything I'd almost destroyed. 2 weeks later, I received a letter. Handwritten, trembling ink. Ethan, I don't know who else to turn to. They froze my accounts. Adrian's lawyers cut me out. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. I don't want forgiveness. I just want to talk. Clara, I read it 3 times before deciding. Against every instinct, I went. The apartment she once bragged about was now half empty, curtains torn, walls yellowed from neglect. She opened the door slowly, eyes red, voice fragile. You came, she whispered. I shouldn't have, I said. She stepped aside. You always hated this place. I still do. She laughed, a hollow sound. He took everything. The house, the accounts, even my reputation. The media calls me the fool behind the fraud. Maybe they're right. You helped him, I said. You knew what he was. I didn't, she cried. Not at first. He said he'd make us both proud. Then it all spiraled. Then why reach out to me now? Because you're the only person who ever loved me without wanting something in return, she said. And I threw that away. Her words hit like glass, sharp, glittering, pointless. You didn't throw it away, I said. You burned it. I just learned to stop walking into the fire. She wiped her face. Do you hate me? I shook my head slowly. No, I stopped giving you that power. Tears slid down her cheeks. He told me you'd gloat, that you'd love seeing me like this. I don't, I said. This isn't victory. This is what's left when everything else is gone. She covered her face. I don't know how to start over. You will, I said quietly. Just not with me, her voice cracked. You're really not staying? I came to say goodbye, Clara, that's all. As I turned to leave, she whispered, You won. I paused at the doorway. No, Clara, I just survived. Outside, the rain began to fall. Light, steady, cleansing. I walked for blocks, each step shaking something loose inside me. By the time I reached the corner cafe, my clothes were soaked, but I didn't care. Lena sat inside, watching through the window. She rose the second she saw me. You went to her, she said. I did. And? She's broken, I said. But so was I. Lena searched my face. And now? Now, I said. I'm finally done pretending that pain gives me purpose. She exhaled, relief softening her features. Then maybe there's still something left for us. I looked at her, really looked. And for the first time in years, I didn't see a replacement for what I'd lost. I saw someone who had stayed even when I didn't deserve it. Lena, I whispered, I don't want revenge. I just want peace. Then stop chasing ghosts, she said. Come home, I nodded. Lead the way. As we walked out together, the city lights shimmered against the wet pavement, not like reflections of the past, but like new beginnings, and for once, the silence didn't hurt. It healed. A year passes quietly, not the kind of silence that hurts, the kind that hums softly beneath a life rebuilt. My mornings begin with coffee instead of whiskey, calm instead of chaos. The walls of my apartment, no, our apartment, don't echo anymore. Lena's voice floated from the kitchen this morning. You're staring at that tie like it insulted you, I smiled. It's the wrong shade. I look like a salesman. You are a salesman, she teased. You sell ideas, dreams, you just charge a lot more. Flattery this early? I asked. She leaned against the counter, holding her mug like it was a secret. Today's important. You get to talk about your new project, your investors adore you, and, well, maybe because you're getting married in 6 hours. I froze mid-laugh. You had to remind me? You're nervous? I shrugged. A little. You know how it started. Courthouse tables, signatures, endings. Now it's the same place, but different. Her smile softened. Different because this time it's real. At work, everyone greeted me with that same knowing grin. Maya, my assistant, winked as I entered my office. You sure you don't want the day off, boss? Most people don't pitch to clients before a wedding. I'm not most people, I said, setting down my files. No argument there. She laughed. Just don't make Lena wait. She's too good for you, I chuckled. Everyone keeps saying that. Because it's true, she said, tapping her pen. You used to walk in here like the world owed you pain. Now you actually smile. Guess I got tired of bleeding for ghosts. Maya's expression softened. I'm glad you did. After the meeting, I walked past the glass walls of my office. The skyline shimmered against the horizon, a reminder of everything that hadn't destroyed me. For a moment, I thought of Clara, her laugh, her storm, the wreckage she left behind. Lena once asked if I hated her. I told her no, but the truth was I did, until I didn't. Hate was exhausting. Peace was better, thinking of her again. A familiar voice asked behind me. It was Noah, my oldest friend back from his 6-month trip abroad. I smirked. You always show up when life stops trying to kill me. Wouldn't miss your wedding, he said. You ready? As ready as someone can be to rewrite history in the same damn courthouse. He nodded slowly. I still remember that day. You couldn't even sign your name straight. Yeah. My hand was shaking. Now it's steady, he said. That's something. Guess that's what healing does. He grinned. Or Lena. Both, I admitted. He glanced toward the door. You ever talk to Clara again? Once, I said. Months ago. She called to apologize. What did you say? I told her she didn't owe me anything. We both did what we thought love looked like. Turns out we were both wrong. Noah studied me quietly. You really let it go. I had to, I said. Holding on didn't punish her. It just kept me stuck. Man, who would have thought you'd turn into a philosopher? Survival does that to people. By noon, I was standing in front of a mirror in the courthouse dressing room, the same cracked mirror from that first day. My reflection looked calmer now, lighter. Ethan? Lena called from the hall. In here, I said. She stepped inside wearing a simple ivory dress. Nothing extravagant, just her. And somehow that was everything. Her eyes softened when she saw me. You look terrified. I am, I said. But in a good way. Define good. The kind of fear that reminds you you're alive. She laughed quietly. You used to run from that feeling. I used to run from everything, I admitted. And now? Now I just walk toward it and hope it doesn't burn. She touched my cheek gently. You're not the same man I met. I know, I said. You made sure of that. She tilted her head. No, Ethan, you did. I just stood beside you while you learned how to breathe again. Her words caught in my chest. You ever think we would end up here? Never, she said. But I hoped. The judge's chambers looked smaller now, less intimidating. I remembered sitting on the other side of that table, watching Clara's pen carve my life apart. This time there were flowers on the table. Music faintly playing through a speaker, and Lena's hand in mine. The judge smiled. Mr. Hale, I don't usually see the same faces twice in this room for this reason. Congratulations. I laughed. Neither did I, Your Honor. Do you have vows prepared? I nodded. I do. Lena squeezed my hand. You first, she whispered. I took a deep breath. A year ago, I thought peace meant winning. I thought it meant proving I could rise higher than those who broke me. But peace isn't a trophy. It's the quiet after the storm when you finally stop fighting the wind. You taught me that love doesn't fix you. It just gives you the space to fix yourself. And for that, I'll spend my life choosing you, even when it's hard, even when I'm scared, even when I forget how lucky I am. Lena blinked back tears. You were a mess when I found you, she said softly. Angry, lost, pretending you didn't care. But somewhere between all that pain, I saw a man who still believed in something, even if he didn't know it yet. You don't owe me your peace, Ethan. You built it. I just get to share it. The judge cleared his throat gently. That's quite something. You may kiss the bride. I leaned in, and for the first time, it didn't feel like a beginning or an ending. It felt like continuing. After the ceremony, Noah clapped me on the shoulder. Man, if you told me a year ago you'd be smiling in that same courthouse, I'd have laughed you out the door. I almost laughed myself out, I said. So what's next? Dinner, laughter, maybe a honeymoon without drama. He chuckled. You deserve that. Yeah, I said. We both do. Later, as the sun set, Lena and I stood outside the courthouse steps. The city buzzed softly. Horns, laughter, distant sirens. It all felt alive again. Do you ever think about her? Lena asked gently. Sometimes, I admitted. Not the way I used to. It's more like remembering a chapter from a book I once lived inside. And how do you feel when you do? Grateful, I said. She looked surprised. Grateful? Yeah. She taught me what love isn't and what strength is. Without her, I wouldn't have known how to stay when everything inside me screamed to run. Lena smiled faintly. Then maybe she did leave you something good. Maybe, I said. But you're the one who showed me what to do with it. We walked toward the car, hand in hand. The courthouse behind us glowed in the dying light, like a monument to everything that once hurt, and everything that healed. Do you think peace lasts? She asked suddenly. I thought for a moment. No, I think it's something you choose every day, even when it's hard. She nodded. Then promise me we'll keep choosing it. I promise. As I started the car, she leaned her head on my shoulder. The radio played softly, an old song I used to skip because it reminded me of pain. Now it just sounded like living. Funny, I said quietly. The world didn't change. I did. Lena looked at me, eyes warm. That's what peace is, Ethan. Not the absence of pain, the presence of understanding. I smiled. You always have the last word, don't you? Only when I'm right. That night back home, I stepped onto the balcony. The city lights shimmered below. Thousands of windows, thousands of lives trying to make sense of their own storms. I thought about how far I'd come, how many times I'd almost given up. I whispered into the night, thank you. For the pain. For the ruin. For the lessons I never wanted but needed. Lena joined me, wrapping her arms around my waist. Talking to ghosts again? Just saying goodbye properly this time. She smiled against my shoulder. Then say hello to what's next. I turned to her. Hello, what's next? She laughed softly. The sound echoing into the open sky, and standing there, Same man, same world, different heart. I realized something simple, something I'd spent years missing. Peace doesn't arrive. It's built, brick by brick, choice by choice, breath by breath, and today I chose it.